Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, welcome back again to the class. We are still in Unit 3 and we are going to discuss present perfect and past simple. It is a tense that we use to talk about an action or a state in a past and finished period of time. The general structure for past simple sentence is we need a subject and past verb. And some people call past verb as a verb too, and that's okay. Take a look at the following examples and pay attention to the subjects and the verbs. The bird flew away. The bird is the subject and flew is the verb to of fly. He was very curious. He is the subject and was is the verb to of is. And then they didn't save the file. They is the subject and didn't save is the verb to of don't save. All the activities and statements happen in the past. That's why we use verb to. And now let's talk about the time expressions. The time expressions we frequently use for past simple sentences are ago, for, yesterday, last week. It could be last night, it could be 2 days ago, 3 days ago, in 1996, in September, in 2015, and then at 5 a.m., at 3 p.m., when I was a child, when I was 5 years old, when I was on the first grade, and etc. There are a lot. The examples: he didn't come yesterday, I forgot to study last night, in 2004 there was a huge tsunami. Now it's time for present perfect tense. We use the present perfect tense to connect the past with the present time frames. It began in the past but continues in some way into the present. The general structure for present perfect tense is you need a subject, an auxiliary, and past participle. Some people call past participle is verb 3, and that's okay. The examples are the bird has flown away. The bird is the subject, has is the auxiliary, and flown is the past participle. Then he has been very curious. He is the subject, has is the auxiliary, and then been is the verb 3. And then they haven't saved the file. They is the subject, haven't is the auxiliary, negative, and then saved is the verb 3. The time expressions that we frequently use for present perfect is since and for. The examples: I have studied music since 2010 and I've known Ardan for 2 years. Since in bahasa means sejak, and then for in bahasa means selama. So since talking about the starting point, and then for is talking about the duration. The next is adverbs. These adverbs are often used for present perfect sentences. They are never, ever, already, and yet. The examples: I have never been to Japan. Has she ever come here? He has already eaten 5 burgers today, and we haven't done the homework yet. Alright, it's now time to compare between present perfect tense and past simple tense. Take a look at these two sentences. Do they have different meaning? The answer is yes, they do have different meaning. So if you say, I studied in Bumi Shalawat, that means you already graduated from Bumi Shalawat, but in the past you studied in Bumi Shalawat. But if you say I have studied in Bumi Shalawat, that means you are still studying in Bumi Shalawat. You just want to talk about the time that you have spent in Bumi Shalawat, and you are still in Bumi Shalawat. Now try to compare these two sentences. I lived in Surabaya and I've lived in Surabaya. What's the difference? The explanation for this is, if I say I lived in Surabaya, that means I'm not living in Surabaya anymore because I've moved to another city. I'm no longer the resident of Surabaya, but in the past I lived in Surabaya. But if I say I have lived in Surabaya, it has different meaning. This means until right now I'm still the resident of Surabaya. I just want to talk about the time that I've spent in Surabaya. The more complete sentences are, I lived in Surabaya 5 years ago. I've lived in Surabaya for 6 years, or I've lived in Surabaya since 2014. Do you get it? Okay, now the last examples. Try to find the difference between these two sentences. The first is, she won 50 medals. The second, she has won 50 medals. What's the difference? If you say she won 50 medals, that probably means she was an athlete and she is retired now, and she may be too old to join another competition and she will not get more medals. But if you say she has won 50 medals, it has different meaning. Maybe she is now still an athlete and there is still possibility for her to get more medals. Alright, it's time for the conclusion. Past simple. We use the past simple to talk about an action or a state in the past and finished period of time. And present perfect, we use it to connect the past with the present time frames. It began in the past but continues in some way into the present. It's now time for the exercise. Number 1. My mom blah 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 some salad yesterday. What's the answer? Is it A, make? Is it made, makes, or making? Yes, the answer is B, made. Well, the answer is B, made. Number 2. Bill isn't here. He has blah 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 home. What's the answer? Go, went, gone, or going? Well, the answer is C, gone. Number 3. Some days ago, the weather blah 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 so hot. What's the answer? Is, are, was, or were? The answer is C, was. Number 4. This traditional market has opened blah 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 1980. What's the answer? In, for, from, or since? The answer is D, since. Number 5. Richard has been in Canada blah 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 6 months. What's the answer? Is it in, for, from, or since? Well, the answer is B, for. Number 6. We blah 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 here since last week. What's the answer? Is it are, were, has been, or have been? The answer is D, have been. Number 7. They blah 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 late. What's the answer? A, were never come. B, were never came. C, has never came. D, have never come. Well, the answer for number 7 is D, have never come. Number 8. When did you graduate from elementary school? What's the answer? A, in 2018. B, for 2 years. C, since 2018. And D, from 2018. Number 9. How long ago did you graduate from elementary school? What's the answer? Is it A, in 2018, B, from 2018, C, since 2018, or D, 2 years ago? Well, the answer is D, 2 years ago. The last question, number 10. He has been in my house, blah blah blah. What's the answer? Is it A, 2 days ago, B, for 2 days, C, on Monday, D, since 2 days? Well, the answer is B, for 2 days. This is the end of the class. Thank you very much for the participation. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.